Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bolt Shooter, and I'm here to tell you guys how to get a job. So I'm not gonna mess around much, but excuse me. Um, I'm trying to think. So basically, I'm gonna teach you guys, explain to you guys big parts of how to get the job. This process can work for anywhere. And a lot of these things can help you out. It depends on where you needing to go. Um, so of course you're trying to look at a job. Think of if okay, there's two different jobs. There's one if you're a teenager or you have trouble in the moment and you need something to help you financially. It's kind of easier to get those kind of jobs. So things like fast food places, supermarkets, and just places that would hire a random person off the thing. And then there's a career where you need things like college degrees and all that. And then of course you need certain college. Um, the better way for your colleges, your careers, are to make sure you have a degree. Uh, the higher the degree you have, the more willing they're wanting you, and also that also means they have to pay you hopefully more because you're there and a professional and you're up higher than someone like a 2 year degree and they're just starting. Um, and the big thing that can help you during a random thing is make sure you've helped in a company that can back you up. And then I heard that you can actually put things down uh, from people that would support you. So basically, you're going into your um, let's start with the normal job uh, basically setting. You're going into let's do what I did. Uh, let's do Wendy's. So basically, you're walking into Wendy's, and this is where hey, can I get an application? And most likely, there's going to be two things. Um, I've seen places Wendy's where it's very rare, but they did. I have had someone saying that there was a paper application. Paper applications are better because you're there, getting it from them, and you're getting more. They're looking at you better because you're actually taking the time to fill it out by hand. Um, but a lot of Wendy's have been going into electronical applications where that the better it is because if you do end up talking to the manager and they do hand you the link and you do give them your name, and then you quickly type like if you can get your application ready within a few days and they see it, they'll notice it that you've actually were willing to do it as fast as possible. Um, but that can be anywhere. Application part makes it where the faster you get it in, or the more professional it makes it look, or just getting a paper one makes it look like you actually were willing to put in more time than just typing it on a computer. Um, on your application, there's a few things that, of course, there's just normal information, social security, address, how far you are. Are you willing to go around? Which, if you are willing to go around and get moved, certain places and or careers will actually hire you better because if they don't need you at a certain place, having you somewhere else may give you a job instantly somewhere else. Um, and then, of course, asking you what kind of transportation you do, and then of course your name and all that. That stuff is kind of self-giving. But I mean things like your skills, weaknesses, and uh, well, actually no, that stuff isn't on there. Oh, I think some places do that, but we'll get into that when it hits interview time. Right now, basically, you're putting on the application. You're if you're going into a normal job like Wendy's, you basically got to make sure. you have a teacher recommendation saying this person has, because they're gonna call, so a lot of some places that actually care for your background they go check it, it's an actual thing, because a teacher could give you a little bit of a pointers, because they're like, hey, this person got straight A's, hey, this person did well in my class, and unlike everyone else. That's basically what a teacher can do. But a big thing they're trying to do is, have you worked for a place? Have you volunteered anywhere? Have you actually had a job before here that can give you a boost up in, because there are people that are of course going to want the job more than you. And are you having a better setup for them? Like the job I have now, thanks to me having a being at KFC, Wendy's, and I also had some career culinary training. I basically have 1 year underneath me. Um, that helps me get the job I am in right now, which is basically I cook as people order it, and I got that easier because of that. But having that boosts your chance of getting stuff. But when it comes to career, it's going to be a little bit harder when it comes to your references, because basically you got to have someone that isn't your family, your friend, and they're like, okay, so what in this career have you done anything with it? And else than maybe going into your college and saying here, or like apprenticeship could help you if you had a job before then, or you had someone training you, or had anything that could have helped you better in this career. It will boost your chance at getting that job of the career you want. Now of course, what I was always told is every 2 weeks, that way, I mean, a lot of places that are a little bit harder try to get there every 2 weeks. But if you're very close, try to do it every week. Every week after you've turned in the application, go check on it. The squeaky wheel, the more you oil the squeaky wheel, I think is how it goes. Um, Basically, it'll make the wheel get going. And they'll be wanting you to, because you're more willing to come check on something, the more interested in them, in you they are. I'm sorry. Um, it's 11 o'clock at night, so I'm trying to think. So that can help you by just checking on the application. Um, and then of course, after that, if you actually get the job, answer as fast as possible. That way you can beat someone to an interview that may be getting scheduled later than you, because they picked up a little bit later. And that gives you a better chance to appeal to them faster than someone may be. So basically, you're grabbing it as fast as possible, turning in your application as fast as possible, checking every few weeks or week, and then making sure you can get the interview as fast as possible. If they call you and you're at home, pick that up and say, I will be taking that interview. That will get you a higher spot, and for someone who's made them go to voicemail and may not answer for a while. You go into an interview, maybe even the same day if you actually picked up, or if you interest them enough. Basically, interview is the biggest part of the entire thing. A lot of the questions I usually get are, tell me about yourself. What can help you? Well, I mean, what can you do to help us? Or what can you do for the company? Soft and hard skills, and a big one that I can't even remember the name of. Um, and it was basically, what kind of personality or what kind of thing can people do that annoy you? I'm trying to remember what the word is, but of course they're not going to use that phrase, but I forgot what it was. It's one of the hardest things that no one wants to answer. Also, things like what's your weaknesses and what are your strengths. A lot of people don't want to answer the weaknesses because some things may put someone off. Of course, just be very honest, because if you lie and say, I have a strength, like a big thing I always use, I say I'm punctual, which punctual means you're always on time. Um, don't say you're punctual if you arrive 30 minutes late every single day. Cause that just means you're a liar, and they'll probably fire you not that long after you're hired. Um, so stay honest during this interview. Basically, when they ask you, tell me about yourself. Uh, where you grew up, what school you went to, what kind of things were you trying to follow. If you're going into a workplace like Wendy's, just say, "Hey, I want to actually go to college to go. I want to go into VDI, which is virtual design," and be like, "Hey, I kind of want to become this certain career, and I'm here because I'm trying to gain financial um I'm trying to have like a net underneath me so I can actually go and pursue this career, and I'm not going to fall on my butt because I just completely had nothing ready." Um which I was doing because I've been trying to have things like YouTube going. I've been slowly trying to get my technology working so I can do things like extra videos and editing for this. Um, but my when I was at KFC, I didn't know what I was gonna do, so I always said, um, I want to be able to be independent. That way I can start doing bills and all that. Like I did, I started doing like a phone bill. I'm doing rent now for a house that I don't own it, or it's stupid. But I still have bills to pay now, so that means I have a responsibility and I'm able to do it and not just throw it off and say, "Sorry, I don't got that money. Can you catch me up in the next few weeks?" No, I have that as soon as they ask for it. Excuse me. Um, Basically, also skills that can help you in the workplace could be, depending on what places. Wendy's, there's two things you can always say is, well, actually, there's a lot of things you can say. There's three things that a lot of people do. I can work independent. I'm very good at working independently. I'm very good working with a team, or you're just good with working both. I can personally do solo or with a team. That can help people, because if you're in Wendy's kind of territory where you may work by yourself or you may work with someone, because when I was at Wendy's, there was parts where they were dedicated to the drive-through, so I didn't have a whole team. I didn't have my meats and my sandwiches going, so I had to remind, of course. But my fries and my nuggets, they weren't out when I needed them. So it took me a minute for some of them because the drive-through was very big territory. So while they were doing that, I'm over here getting all my fries, all my nuggets, and I'm able to send them out myself. Which, of course, my managers got mad at people that weren't able to keep up with my orders. But I of course was able to keep up with them, and I was able to make sure people had their food. That's like solo work. But if you're in a team, being like, you're actually able to have that line where you have your sandwich person, your manager popping over whenever they need you to do something. You got your fry person. You can work around that. Those two are something you can say. Honesty, loyalty to the company, uh, things that are basically make you put your personality, your morals, all that stuff will help you as long as it's not something that's going to get someone mad. Um Now, some things not to say is, my weakness is I'm lazy. My weakness is that I can't do this, I can't do that. Do not say I cannot or I won't, because that can get you just no job. You will not get a job if you say I can't and I won't. Um, some things that of course, you guys know this. Do not have any racial thing ever. I don't care if you were raised in a family where you don't like a certain nationality. Um, you have customers and people you got to work with, and if they hire you, you are the face of their company, and someone that you don't like is that nationality walks up to you and says, "Hey, can I get your business?" And then you're there as their face, and you get mad because this is the nationality you don't like, and say, "I don't serve your kind. Goodbye." And then here it is, freaking headquarters calling you personally, or just your entire section that you're working at, and saying, what in the world is your person doing, or what in the world are you doing? You're fired. You're also, and then they're probably also going to get sued, which you're going to get sued yourself. So if you have a racial thing, stay away from the job, period. Because if you cannot deal with anything, if you are a racist, that will not do. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's kind of hard in some parts of the whole world and all that, but for people like me, I understand that some things can be very stressful. Like me personally, I get very flustered when someone walks up to me with a different language, but I don't hate them. It's just it makes my job hard because maybe I have a whole line and then I can't understand this person, so I got to work with visual cues until I finally am able to explain to them what their order is, or is this what you need? Is this what you want? What kind of help do you need? That makes it a little bit hard, but if you're a racist, it's not gonna work. You can't do stuff with this. Um, and then you can't get mad at certain people that, like I said, that say they're lazy, they're always off time, and you're having a hard time. You can't get mad at them because there's gonna be people out there. I didn't like half the bosses I worked with because a lot of them, their morals were all over the place. I even had to work with one. No offense to this person, but they had a passive aggressive racial thing about them. And I don't fly with that. Okay, I support anything that I don't care what nationality, racial, or anything. Not even if you are gay, straight, or bi. Okay, I don't mean I don't care. I just mean don't you dare hold it against me if I do something I just felt to do it. Um, it's just your morals, your personality, things that make me mad are the things that you do that I could ask you not to do, but no matter how much times I ask you, don't do it, or please at least tone it down, I get mad. Like, I have a friend who's been pushing way too much on he's bi, but he's strongly gay. A lot of people have noticed. And thing is, he keeps forcing that he likes me and Raw Soldier, which it's fine that he likes, but it's just I can't stand it when you're a Christian and you're putting your Bible in my face saying, you need to believe in it. You will die by the hell. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'll deal with that when I'm in my midlife crisis and I actually feel like I may die a day. Right now, I can die whenever, but right now, I'm living life, so I believe in what I believe. You believe in whatever you believe. Just don't throw it down my throat. Um. Oh my gosh. I love how it goes from this to be a work video. But basically, if you have any problems like that, you better get them solved, or you basically put them underneath ground and bury them 20 feet under, or you will not get the job. Or you will get fired, sued, or even worse. Alright, now that that whole problem is finished, it's basically what annoys you else than what I just talked about. Things like, don't say you hate your bosses, of course. That can get you in trouble. But say, like, I don't really like when people just leave things there for the next person to do, because that just makes it slow down for everyone. I always bring that up. That is my thing that I hate. When I was at KFC, I always walked in. I was late night shift, so I'm over here ready for a very late night. I want to go home at this point. I'm tired. I'm at that point I was at school. I think I was in like junior year, and I'm over here like I'm exhausted. I want to go home. I just want it to be as easy as possible, which of course you're fast food, so it's a little bit hard on you. But oh my gosh, when I walk in, all my stuff better be done, because if I have to do all this stuff, you better have to do all your stuff. Like I want those, if there's no one sitting where they are, I want those tables, the chairs, I want the little things like the placemats, I want all that done. I want all my stuff stocked. I don't want to see a giant puddle of pop sitting right there that no one has touched or even put a sign around. That just agitates me. But basically, make sure you look good, sound good, and also don't put any shame on anyone or have any problem with a certain type of person, or you may not get the job. A big thing that I was told was to always dress appropriate. So, always at least make it where you look like you want a job. Which basically a casual t-shirt and jeans can let you slide by, but if you're going for I want this job, you always go a higher thing above, or at least the same. The same would be like, hey, I'm going to Wendy's, let me get a collared shirt and maybe some black slacks. But but if you want to get the job, if you want the job, you go above and beyond. This goes for anyone in the career path. Well, actually, the same work style, but a lot of the career paths, as long as you have a button-up shirt, you may have like a little tiny jacket. I always went completely beyond. I always did dress shoes, dress pants, dress shirt. I did a vest with a, and then I've been doing a tie, but I've been changing to a bow tie. But I just want you guys to know that that is what it needs to be. You need to go be over and beyond. You need to be able to show yourself, represent yourself, and make sure you have a good alibi for them to come up and say, "You want a job? Okay, here's your job." Just make sure you're always doing good and you don't lie about yourself. The only other thing I can tell you guys about is, of course, do good on the job, but this one's a little hard. But basically, you got to be patient with a lot of things. I had the worst trouble with both Wendy's and KFC. When I went to KFC to work, they lost my paperwork, which made me weeks later finally working. Which I finally got, I think, a little boost before I started, because they were saying sorry that they forgot my file that had a whole bunch of information about me on. Um, and then Wendy's, it was just they had a whole bunch of technology issues, and it took me forever to finally get the files that my manager wanted me to sign out, and I was like, okay, finally, hours later, here you go. It took me like 3 hours to get through all that stuff. I believe it was like 10, 20 courses that I had to go scroll through all the details. But anyhow, guys, that was how to get a job. Um, a big thing that can help you if you really, really want to get into a career or something is I always had a friend or two within the place that I was going to. When I went to Wendy's, I had a schoolmate. She ended up having a little bit of good things to work on because I was in a career based intervention class at school, and she was in there. So I'm like, hey, could you talk to them about how I was in the career based intervention class with you? That way they know I've been in the class wanting to get work, and that's how I got Wendy's. And then KFC. That's how I got KFC. Wendy's, I had like 5 people I knew there. Half, like 2 of them were classmates, 3 of them were friends. And I was like, hey, can I come in and get help? Because I kind of need a job because I'm basically gonna be in senior year, closing here, and I need something to actually go through this year with. Um, Sadly, I wasn't able to get all that I want with whatever I was given. Um, let's see, what did I miss out on? I missed out on a I missed out on a class shirt and a book. I really wanted a book, but sadly I didn't have the money. They were wanting like $100 for a big freaking book that had my face in it, and I'm like, kind of hard for you to make memories if you don't have the book. Which made me sad. And then of course the shirt would have made it where I would have worn it because it had the one we had. I went to Springfield, uh, Springfield Spartans. That's Springfield High School. That's where I went. Um, and the senior shirt was basically everyone's name was in the numbers. I was good enough to go to prom, get a new suit, take my girlfriend with me. I paid for everything. But it's a little sad that I couldn't get my book. Some things will put you down, something like that, but it'll work out eventually. But anyhow, I still have a good friend, which is Ryan, and I'm going to keep him my friend. I want him to be my friend for years to come. Uh, but anyhow, guys, that's how you get a job. I know half this stuff wasn't even involving. I started blurping out my hatred for people who base off of just how people look or how people act. That'll probably be in a separate video that probably won't even make it on YouTube because people don't like how the people speak out. But anyhow, guys, hit that like button if you like this video. Subscribe to notice my future content. Go to B.O.L.T, see there's some of my stuff. Don't forget that notification bell to make sure you see all my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.